to live stream the meeting. Setting up your meeting for custom stream service. Done. Redirecting to the live stream page.
And he's been having it cut off.
We're on. We have a commercial that's popping up on my YouTube thing, but
Cool.
We're on. And I got this commercial running on my site because I don't have YouTube Red or whatever. So John sees me. What's up, John? Welcome to Live from Milwaukee tonight, the Shocky News. I am Brian Red.
And Howard Darkstar right here. Hello, John.
Co-host. John is in Chicago at the Marquee Show, and he has really crappy internet at his hotel. So I decided to go ahead and go on because it's been a while. We haven't been on a Tuesday Night Live for a while. I kind of missed it. I think some of you probably kind of missed it too. So
wait, did you say crappy internet at a hotel? Really?
Go figure. Yeah, right.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, really? Really? Yeah, you go in and you tell them you need good internet, and they're looking at you like you're just gonna go on Facebook and stuff and Twitter, and it's like, no, I actually need this for stuff. Jimmy Spin has joined us here in the chat on YouTube. I guess we're broadcasting to several different places at once. So wherever you are, welcome to it. We have Brian K coming in, joining us too. So we're going to a couple topics we're going to cover tonight, and we're going to try to keep it nice and fast paced for you. And hopefully this is something that somebody watches eventually, and John will rename it something real clever later. Mark Butler, what's up? Dave Clevenger's here. How you doing? Welcome, everyone. First thing I want to talk about is something I talked about in the live stream that I posted on my Facebook page a few days ago. And it was about how we handle customers when they call us asking for pricing. Howie, how many times have you gotten a phone call from somebody and they ask what your price is and they just bully you to just give them a ballpark? You do, and their response is, that's too much, that's too expensive, I didn't budget for it, or something to that effect.
Or the worst is, I'll get back to you, and they never do.
Well, I'll get back to you is different. I'll get back to you, I think, is a little different. What I'm talking about is that whole, I can't afford you kind of thing, or you're too expensive out of my budget. Have you gotten that response before from people when they've called you?
I have, and I'm with you on this. It's not that we're too expensive. Maybe it just isn't a good fit, but I honestly don't get too much pushback. I have a little technique I use, and one thing is I will ask them what their budget is. Then if they say that, I just say, what is your budget? Perhaps we can work with you with a smaller package.
Well, my suggestion was this, because I hear this a lot. Like when I'm checking out people's posts or whatever on social media, they'll say, oh yeah, we can only, we only budgeted, I don't know, whatever the price is, $400, $600, whatever. Mm-hmm. And the DJ's response is, well, good luck with that kind of thing. Yeah. It just blows them off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's what I was thinking. Maybe they have no idea what the average DJ costs in their market. They picked a number out of thin air, thinking they could get a DJ for this money, and you're the first call they make. And you give them a price that's, not outrageous, maybe, or maybe it is, it doesn't matter. It's your price, whatever it happens to be. If it's in line with your market at all, they don't know that's how much this stuff costs yet. If you blow them off right away, they're going to call the next DJ. They're going to give them a similar price.
Mm-hmm.
And they might go with that DJ because, oh, wow, that's what the last guy was. I guess that's what it costs. Maybe I should just go with this DJ. They would almost be embarrassed to call you back after you were kind of rude to them about saying that you were too expensive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can understand that. But I do it a little bit differently. I have a couple of cheat videos that I keep on my desktop because I got to tell you honestly, 90% of the people that inquire will do it through Messenger or email.
Right.
And I'm able to, especially in Messenger, I can quick show them, well, this is what I offer, and here's a motion monogram. Boom, 10 seconds. And the one I booked for November, they went, wow, oh, that's what. Then now they see the value.
Mm-hmm. No, that's great for those conversations. What I'm talking about are the phone calls, because it happens. They'll call, how much? You give them something, a ballpark. Oh, that's too expensive. Okay, well, thank you. Click. I think you can do more than that. I think that the thing to do would be, I understand. Instead of thank you, click. I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Show a little empathy here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I know somebody who's more within your budget. What were you thinking? And then they could say whatever price they had in their head from Fantasyland. And then you could say, okay, well, let me poke around a little bit and see if I can find someone who can do it for you for that.
Mm-hmm.
Could you tell me a little bit about your event? And then go into your thing.
Yeah, so you're developing a dialogue with them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Instead of just, F you click,
Mm-hmm.
get a dialogue going with them.
Mm-hmm.
Try to help them. I mean, maybe I do know somebody who could come in and do this event for them for $300-400. I might
Mm-hmm.
know somebody who just wants to go out and do. I'm not saying that I advocate going out for that kind of money. I'm just saying that maybe I know somebody who can do it, and I might try to help them
Now,
instead of just telling them they're stupid for saying you're too expensive and hanging up the phone proverbially. I mean, try to help them, and even at that, huh?
yeah. Do you really get phone calls?
Oh yeah, I get texts and phone calls, and so usually when I get a text, I'll call back.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm Brian. Oh yeah, and yeah. So I do get calls. It happens.
Oh.
It's usually off of WeDJ or referral stuff,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of that. So it happens. But that whole, oh, that's too much, and flipping around, and or it'll be another DJ, like say a guy like Big Ron, he gets a phone call and he's
Right.
booked, and he says, I'm busy, I'm booked, but you can call my friend Brian. Here's his number. And then they'll call me, and that's how that happens.
Mm-hmm.
So it does happen. And I just see way, 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 way too many people just laughing it off and hanging up the phone when they say they only budgeted $400-500. When I'm thinking maybe what's really going on is they have no idea what this actually costs to do. They just picked a number out of thin air, and instead of insulting them for trying to guess how much this would cost, I understand.
But yeah, you make a great point there, because we do this for a living, and this is their, first or second time only, planning a wedding. So they really don't know. They honestly don't know. And I understand that.
Or maybe, I don't know, maybe they had worked with a DJ before at another type of event. Maybe it was a elementary school dance or a kid's birthday party or something, and the DJ just came in and played some. Maybe they have experienced this before, where oh well, yeah, that only costs us $450. So that's what a DJ costs, and then when you come in at $1,000 or $1,200 or $1,500 or whatever you are, they're just like, what? Whoa, that's too much.
Well,
who knows where they got their number from?
I never give a price out flat out. I explain what I give, and then I give the price. I say, this is what I do, so that there's a perceived value. Like, I will be your day of event, you know, not event, the reception timeline coordinator.
Yeah.
I'll do that for you. I will provide this. I will have whatever you wish as far as monograms or whatever, and the cost for that is. And then they're thinking a little bit, not just straight away. What's your price? 1,200. Too much. Okay.
Right,
And then
right.
I see where you're going with a lot of those people say, oh, $300. Oh, boom. And then they've
Like
actually,
they're like the
you know,
DJ's
made
insulted because someone even thought that, you know.
right. And that's you're right. That's the wrong attitude because they have friends, and they will talk. And if they think that you know you're being arrogant, that bad news travels faster than good news.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's like anything else. I mean, you don't know how much it costs for a plumber. You call the first plumber and you say, "Hey, my sink's, you know, I got a bad leak in my basement. I need somebody to come here." Well, it's 300 for the service call. That's too much. Click. Once you call like the fifth plumber and they're all about 300 for the service call, you're like,
Mhm.
shit, I guess that's what it costs for a service call.
Right.
So do you go back to the first person you talked to, or you just take the person you're on the phone with? If the first person you called was really cool to you and tried to help you, maybe I don't want
Hmm.
to call that guy back because he was so cool. And
Hmm.
I was like, I had no idea it cost that much. I apologize. When can you come? You know what I mean? I mean, it could be that.
Yeah.
And that's just almost a customer service sales tip that I was thinking about, that I just threw out there, you know,
I,
just for
I
that reason.
I agree. I just I don't know. I don't have it in me to be rude to
Well, I know
someone. I
you
you know
don't. I know
yeah,
you
if I
don't.
can help. But I mean, I think that's why I get what I think that's why I have what I have is just because okay, if I can't help you, I know somebody that can, like you suggested. I do
Right.
that all the time.
Maybe I do. I don't know that I do, but okay, let me see what I can do. Could
Hmm.
you tell me a little bit more about your event?
Hmm.
Bringing somebody in, you know, like this, maybe I don't know if they're going to be able to handle it or not, but tell me about your event. Maybe I can find somebody for you who can do it. And just talk to them and find out a bit, get to know them, kind of what they want to do. And if they're telling you things like VFW hall, potluck dish, you're like, yeah, they don't have me though. So,
Right.
you know, if I've got somebody who can help, cool. But if they're telling you, you know, Ritz Carlton, you know, 300 people sit down 4 course meal, you're like, okay, they're gonna call you back. They
Yes.
will call you back. They just didn't realize it cost that much.
Hmm.
And now as far as just I'm not in the business, and I try not to be in the business of telling anybody how much to charge for the services. There are people out there who have made a career of saying charge $5,000. I'm not that guy. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, you know, who was charging on the loan to things, and you know, talking about maybe ways they could raise the price up a little bit, or you know, just thinking, you know. And every time I suggested something, it got shot down. There was an excuse why they couldn't do it, and finally, I'm like, you know what, just do you. I don't know how to help you with this. This is where
Right.
you are. This is what you're going to do. Just do that.
Hmm.
I don't know, because you know, if you're not willing to even consider, you know, trying something different or trying something new, or thinking about doing something different, then this is just who you are. I'm not going to be able to talk you into it. You've already made up your mind. Just do you.
Hmm.
What I am getting at is about the price thing. And I don't want to say how much anybody should charge that. I'm not in that kind of business. All I want anybody to ever do is not pay to DJ. Cover your costs and do you. That's it. Just
Yeah.
cover your costs. That's the only thing I'll preach. I don't care how much you make. I just care that you don't go out there and you end up spending $300 a night to DJ for somebody. You're like giving them a wedding gift, and you might not even like these people. So, what I will say is that what I try to do, and some disagree with this method as well, is I'll give a ballpark, an
Hmm.
average. If someone asks me how much, instead of giving a price or dancing around it, I'll flat out say it kind of depends on what your needs and wants are. It starts here, usually, it ends about here. It could be higher. Most people end up about here. Let's
Hmm.
find out what you need and give you a better idea how much this is going to run you. That's all I have to say. That's
Well,
it. And so,
you
so
made
I'm
a
not
really good
dancing around it, but I'm telling
point.
them, if you're going to make me jump through flaming hoops, you're going to pay more. But
Hmm.
if it's easy and all I have to do is show up with some lights at 6, I'm done at midnight. There's nothing crazy you want. I don't have to drive to Nebraska to do this. yeah, you're gonna be closer to down here. But if you want all this stuff and there's travel and you're gonna be over here somewhere, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I do it. That's how I handle that. And if it's not for them, it's not for them, and I'm fine with that. But I'm always nice because
Mm-hmm.
you never know where they're at in the shopping, browsing or whatever process of this.
Well, as far as referring another DJ, I think I made an enemy this year. Um, Someone couldn't afford my price, and it happened to be one of those color runs. If you've heard about those,
No,
they raise money for whatever charity du jour,
right?
and when they run around the track at the high school, um, they have this colored powder that they throw all on the runners, and
Okay.
they take pictures, and oh, look at everybody's all rainbow colored. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, my equipment, you know. So I they wanted someone that would do it for 400. I said I can't do that, but I know someone that may be interested, and they took the event. And then they called me up after and said, I got $400 worth of damage to my stuff. Thanks a lot.
Well, what did you think was going to happen?
I said, maybe you were too close to the track. I mean, they're throwing this powder all over.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you, that's experience talking, though. I
Yeah.
mean, in $400 going in, oh, $400, that's not experience, and that's going to get you in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just looking at the chat here. Hurricane Production is going on about, I think, deposits and how he does things. Yeah, I mean, that's cool. However you structure your business is your business, and um, do do uh, do it however you want to do it. But those are just some thoughts. I mean, if somebody calls you and you give them a quote of however much, I mean, just even if you're on the low end of things, they say it's too expensive. Instead of just saying, "Well, f you, goodbye," um, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I might know somebody who could come in and do it for less. I mean, tell me a little bit about your event and what
Mm-hmm.
kind of budget you have here, and try to get something out of them and see if you can help them. If not, after they call the next four guys, they might call you back because you were the cool one. You were the one who didn't say F you and hang up.
Mm-hmm.
You might have the job and not even know it.
Another thing too, though, when you mentioned, hey, tell me a little bit about your event. One thing I say, whoa, where are you having the wedding or the reception at? And I know all the venues,
Right.
so I know how much those venues are. And when they say they can only afford $500, I'm thinking that's BS right there, because I
Oh,
know
yeah.
how much that venue's charging you.
Oh, yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous sometimes. I'll show up at these events and I'm thinking, all these poor people. And then it's like gorgeous. And it's like, come on.
yeah.
And it just puts me in a bad mood. So, I'm not expecting to take advantage of anybody, but, why should I take a pay cut that week because somebody just didn't want to pay it. I'm out there working like I always do, just as hard as I always do, and they're getting all the benefits from it after they've already spent $50,000 on this stuff that nobody needs,
Mm-hmm.
to have an event. But whatever. That's even another conversation. But yeah, I mean. That's it. I'm just suggesting that just because they say you're too expensive, or just because they can't afford you, or that's too much, or whatever they say to you, I wouldn't just blow them off, man. I try to roll that into, hey, I understand. You know, maybe
Yeah.
I can help you. Maybe I know somebody. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your event, what you want to do, and let me see if I can find somebody to do it for you. Maybe I'm not saying I can. Maybe I can. And maybe
And
you
then
can.
again, I've had the experience where they haven't hired me, and then they had a bad experience with the one that was in their budget. And then next year rolls around, I do these annual things,
Yeah,
and I'm the one they call. They go, okay, we'll pay the price because we want a good event.
yeah,
So sometimes it pays to turn it down. But in a kind way.
Yeah. Oh, always nice.
Yeah.
I'm going through that right now, and I don't want to get into any particulars, but I will say that I did an annual event for a long time. I did it at a very reasonable rate. Um, it wasn't consistent, but it happened once in a while. I'd come in and do it. Um, they tried to go another route. It didn't work. They're begging me to do it again. So, you know,
Yeah.
it was, I did it for a reasonable price, and they thought they could do better or something.
Well, when you're talking with committees, that's happened to me. I did one event 10 straight years. Oh, they got a new committee. Hey, I got a friend
We're going
from
to change things
college.
up this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And then they were back the next year. They said, hey, come on, get Howie back. We know what we're getting, you know?
Speaking of, let's talk about this for the second half of the show. Have you
Okay.
ever walked into an event where your clients have sabotaged their own event just with a really strange structure they've insisted on?
With what now?
A strange structure of things they've insisted happen at a certain time or a certain way that's really sabotaged their event opposed to helping them. Have you ever had an experience like that? Because I have.
I, I haven't. I've had a venue coordinator do that.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I've had people, at company parties, put things together in a way where there's no way I could win. Cocktails are 2 rooms away, dinner's 4 rooms away. They do door prizes and give away the big prize at 10:30 at night. Everyone's
Oh, okay.
tired and they're
Hmm.
not going to stick around to dance. And I'm the bad guy because nobody danced.
Hmm.
And that kind of stuff is what I'm talking about.
Oh, then I've had that sort of thing where you just get the crowd going and then, hey, we're going to do another giveaway. And it's like, why don't you just do all your door prizes right away? And no, 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 we want to keep people here. So we're going to stop the dancing every half hour to give something away. And
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
And it's always a big screen TV. And it's like, who doesn't have one of these damn things?
Yeah, from Walmart.
Yeah, some Walmart 52-inch, or it's a 60 this year. Ooh, it's a 70 this year. Ooh. And these people are, it's like swag. I mean, who doesn't have one of these things already? But,
Hmm.
if anyone would ever ask me, it's like, okay, if you're insisting on doing these door prizes, do them at the end of the night.
Yeah.
If you must be here to win, if your event's over at 11 o'clock, let's kill everything at quarter to 11 and do it. And then maybe we'll do one more song when it's over or something. And that way you got the people around. But if you give all your crap away, right away, they're going to leave. If you put cocktails in a different room, they're going to go in there and they're going to drink cocktails. If you really want dancers, I can help you structure an event where you have dancers, but it has a lot to do with structure, especially these company parties. I've had weddings where they've sabotaged things. I remember I did this one wedding,
Hmm.
and the bride and groom were very privileged. It was at a country club. They were young, and they only wanted to hear the songs that they liked. They didn't care what anyone else liked, and everything they
Oh.
liked was really, really odd, and they
Hmm.
insisted on it. No one else danced. Everyone left, but that couple danced all night, and nobody really cared about the couple.
And did you allow that to go on the whole night or
I couldn't do a thing about it.
really?
I was stuck.
I had an event very similar where I mean a huge playlist, and they had this was 3 or 4 years ago, when Happy was a big hit. It was still a dance floor filler. It still is, I guess. And this guy found a metal version of it. He was into metal, and that's what they wanted to play.
Yeah.
And halfway through, the bride came up to me and said, "Nobody's dancing.
Well,
What
yeah,
what
and really,
what can you do?"
right. And that
I
happens
said,
most of the time when you
"Yeah,
get those playlist events. If it's not
I
working out,
yeah,
they'll look at you and say, "Do something." And it's like, okay, take the handcuffs off and let's make this happen.
That's exactly what I did. I said, if you allow me to do what I know works, I can fill your dance floor. And
Yeah.
and they said, okay. I mean, the guy was just, he wanted to hear metal all night. And it's like, nobody wants to hear metal all night unless you're going to a Van Halen concert. I mean, that's different,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
You go see Iron Maiden live, and
right, right.
but no, not at a dance. I mean, I figured out when I was 14 years old, if and I was a guitar player. I was into some pretty hard stuff and some hard rock stuff. Go to all
Hmm.
the concerts, Ozzy Osbourne, all that. But when I was
Yeah.
14 years old, I figured out, you know what? Those girls like Wham. So,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
if I incorporate a little Wham, you know, maybe things will work out a little better because girls like Wham. I used to tell guys at the club, I'd be like, they'd come up and they'd ask for this heavy metal stuff and get all mad at me. And there's one guy in particular, I know I've told the story before, but it's so good. He came up to me and he's asked for something, something really hard rock. And I'm like, no. And he's like, why not, man? You suck. I'm like, come here. Let me talk to you. What's your name? Bob. All right, Bob. Turn around. Look at my dance floor, Bob. What do you see? This is a bunch of girls. I'm like, yeah. Are you here with a bunch of guys? I said, yeah. I said, are you single? I said, yeah. So what are the girls dancing to? It's like, uh, I don't know, dance music. Like, why don't you go dance with the girls to the dance music and leave those guys at the bar? Like, dude, you're my hero. And he was out there all night. It was
Yeah. I
like
tell you,
this epiphany came over him. Like he was a guy in his 20s. Like, oh my god, I never thought of that. Like, yeah, go,
right.
go.
Yeah. Like you're his wingman, so to speak.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, I had one very, very interesting and good experience with an odd request. It was kind of, I don't know, like just threw it in there in the middle, and people went, "Oh, well, okay." I had a lady with gray hair, but she had a purple streak in it, and she was sitting there quietly and for half of the event, and then she came up and made a request, and she said, "Do you have any poison?" And I was like, I do. What would you like to hear?" She said, "Talk dirty to me." And I was like, you know what? I'm going for it. And I played it, and the people were like, and this lady got out there and danced, and the people joined them, and then I resumed normal operations after
Oh,
that
you
was
can do
over.
that. Yeah. The
Yeah,
other good one is I think it's Unskinny Bop is a
yeah, on Skinny
that
Bop
one
was
worked
always,
really well. You could do
yeah,
you could do that. It's like throwing in Guns N' Roses or whatever.
right, right.
There's a user in the chat, and I don't know where this came from because Hurricane Productions is still talking about money, and I'm not paying any attention to that tonight. Um, Dance All Night 45 is asking, are Gemini speakers any good?
Ooh, oh,
Well, here's just something I'll say, and this is no reflection on Gemini or anyone else out there,
hmm,
but but it's kind of like hiring a DJ if you think about it for a minute. Dance All Night 45. You could look for the lowest price DJ and hope that it's good,
hmm,
or you could look for a DJ that is good and then find out how much that DJ charges. It's
or
the same thing with
my way of looking at that is, do you really think you're going to get a good hot dog at the dollar store?
well, hold on a minute. I mean, maybe you will. Maybe you will.
Oh, come on.
But now let's just say that maybe you do. Let's say that you really enjoy the chili cheese dog or whatever that you get at the gas station.
Okay. Roller
That's
dogs.
fine if that's what you like. If you like that chili cheese dog and it costs you 99 cents
Hmm.
for two or whatever the price they had on it, if you like that, that's fine. But did you go there specifically for that because you liked it, or did you go there because it was 99 cents? And is there another hot dog you could go out there and buy that's $3.50 that you like a lot better?
Hmm.
So when we're talking about speakers or anything else, I don't care what it is. I don't care If it's a phone, I don't care if it's a TV, I don't care if it's a car. It doesn't matter what it is. If you like it and it doesn't cost a lot, cool. But I don't ever recommend, especially for something that you're buying for your business, like speakers, to look for the low cost thing and hope it's good. If you like it and it doesn't cost a lot, that's fine. But don't look at it just because it doesn't cost a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make any sense to you?
It does. I just there's got to be a happy medium. I mean, not everybody can afford top of the line stuff.
Well, of course.
I
Of
get
course.
that. But there's much better options out there that are very near what Gemini is pricing their stuff. Like Avante is, man, that stuff is awesome.
Well, yeah, but the thing with Avante is it doesn't cost a lot and it's nice.
It is nice.
I think the first when you walk into that Avante room, you're like, wow, these speakers sound pretty good. What do they cost? And you're told, you're like, really? That's it?
Yeah, I did. I went like this. I was like, what?
But it's not the other way around. It's not that it says Avante, $375. And you went into the room because it was $375. You
Right.
went into the room because the speakers sounded good. And then you
Mhm.
found out it was $375 or whatever it is. And then you were like, wow, that's really a good value because I like the sound of these. And then you buy them.
Mhm.
So that's kind of where my head is. If you're asking about Gemini speakers, you've never heard them because you're asking if they're any good or not. You're looking at the price point. Stop doing that. Find something you like and then find out how much it costs. If it's not in your budget, keep looking, but find something you like before you buy. Just don't look for the lowest cost item. I would never recommend that anyone does that if you're doing this as a business.
Mhm.
For your personal use, you go right ahead and you buy the cheapest TV Walmart has. I don't care. But
Mhm.
if you are opening a bar and you want to put TVs in your bar, maybe you don't want to look at the cheapest price TV because it's going to fail. You're going to have to replace it. It might look like crap. You might start getting squiggly lines in it after, a couple hundred hours because you're going to have it on all the time. Maybe it's not such a good value. Learn about this stuff, figure it out, and make a wise purchase, not on price alone. That's
Mhm.
just that I don't care if somebody buys a Gemini speaker. It's like, you know what? I heard these speakers. I really like them. They're made by Gemini, and it turns out that they're only $3 a piece. Fine, buy them, but don't just buy them on price alone because that's the same with the DJ. It's the same thing. Oh, it's $300. He's got to be just as good as the guy who's 2,000. Really? Are you sure about that? Because they're all the same, right? Is the guy for $300 any good? I don't know. Maybe he's wonderful, but hire a good DJ. You know what I'm saying? At any price, whether it's low or high, just make sure you like the DJ before you hire him. That's how I'm thinking about things. And that's just me. That's not gospel. That's just me on my soapbox right now. But you do you, and that's a good thing. Just do you. Hurricane Productions LLC. No, absolutely no Gemini. You know, I may have said the same thing a couple of years ago. I'm just trying to not speak like that right now. I'm trying to have a little more empathy. I understand. Tell me about your event. Maybe I can find somebody for you who can do it for that price. I don't know if I can, but let me see if I can.
Yeah, and those people will have Gemini speakers.
Yeah. David Wolf says, don't buy on credit if all possible. Man, I started my business on a credit card, man. $1,800. I had nothing. My mom gave me she signed for a credit card for me, $1,800 limit, and I maxed it out. And I had it paid for on security deposits alone before I even did my first gig.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it depends on where you're at, what kind of business you're running, what you're doing. I mean, yeah, I always try to pay cash for things. This house I'm living in right now, I of course have a mortgage on the house, but any improvements I did on the house, I pay cash for. So I get it, and everybody got their own way of doing it, but you got to have a
Mm-hmm.
business plan. Business plan is important. So I'll just expand on that. Dance all night 45. Um, if you were to buy a speaker system, complete, top subwoofers, everything for $500, and you figured how long is it going to take you to pay for this thing? What we do, the 5% rule, Howie,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So you divide 5 by 20%. Is that how you do it? Yeah, that's how you do it. So what are
Mm-hmm.
you looking at? You're looking at that's not right. Is that right?
You were, let's say the speaker cost $1,000 for your setup, and
Okay, let's go 1,000. It's a nice
charge
round
a
number.
rental fee of 5% on that,
Right.
on each thing, and
So
then
it's 5% of $500. That's what it is. Five
right,
percent of $500 is 25 bucks.
right,
Okay, so every event that you play at for 20 gigs, $25 of that can go toward the speaker. You can tack on $25 per event to pay for your speakers for $500. After 20 events, you own the speakers.
right,
And you don't have to pay that anymore. You can pocket it or put it aside for the next set of speakers you got to buy. But at $500, you're probably going to have to buy another set of speakers pretty quick.
right.
So, you bought some budget stuff. But if you went with $1,000 speakers, that'd be $50 a gig for 20 gigs. So for every gig you do, add $50 to it to pay for them speakers. Um, and then 20 gigs later, you own them. $2,000. I mean, it just goes on and on like that.
Well, when you get up in that range, though, you're going to have, let's say, something like a Electro Voice that has a 3-year warranty.
Mm-hmm.
Now, doggone it, you should be able to pay that off in 1 year. Those speakers.
Well, if you do 20 gigs, if you get a $3,000 set of speakers, that's $1,500 per side.
Mm-hmm.
That's $1.50 per event that you need to put towards speakers, or you charge people. Make sure you charge that extra $150 on top of all your other expenses to pay for those
Mm-hmm.
speakers for 20 events, like a rental charge. After the 20 events, you own them, and you can pocket that $150. Your speakers have paid for themselves, and now you're making money on them. So that's how I like to think of things. When people go in for the ultra budget stuff, it's like, wow, the only reason I think you would go for that, it would seem to me, is if you only wanted to get a few gigs out of them and you were charging a little bit of nothing for your service and still trying to make a profit. It's weird to me that people do that. If it was something for your house, if it was for your kitchen or whatever, I wouldn't question it. But if it's for your business, that's when I
Right.
start questioning things. But that's me.
Well, I agree, though. I know people that have tried to DIY different events, and usually it's a committee again, and then they go to the rental center or guitar center and find out, oh, to rent, 215s and a microphone, wired microphone, it's going to be about 150, and we have to go pick it up and then bring it back, and somebody's got to put their credit card down, and it's, uh, you know, that's about what you should be charging for your own equipment rental, because it has to be replaced.
Yeah. Yeah. Eventually.
Well, look what happened to me. We both have the same laptop, and mine bit the dust, and I got a good 6 years out of it. Hard use. It paid for itself, and
Yeah.
hey, part of business.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Here, I'm just trying to manage my windows here, so forgive me for being clumsy. I've got windows open all over the place, and
I could see the bright white on your face every
yeah,
time you get your
yeah.
window.
I run YouTube in dark mode
Yeah.
because it's hard on my eyes. Otherwise, Zoom's dark. But when I open up like a regular browser, it's like I'm opening that briefcase in Pulp Fiction. It just glows at me.
Yeah.
Except instead of in gold, it glows in white. So yeah, I don't know, Howie. This is an interesting little show we did tonight. We covered several topics. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys who are watching liked it well enough to hit like on at least the YouTube video. You can always leave a comment down there. It's nice when you do. We appreciate it.
Yeah. And a little thumbs up helps Disc Jockey News TV pay the bills, keep the lights on, and pay for that those dongles. John did a great show this afternoon on what it takes to broadcast what you're
All
seeing
right. With
now.
what we're using right now that I stumbled through.
It is not cheap. So
Yeah.
just a thumbs up. Hey, it really helps.
Let me just real quick before we log off. Why am I not at the Marquee show? Why am I in Milwaukee? Because it's like an hour and 20 minutes that way. I could be there. Um, well, this is a weird week because my sister's in town.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister, how can I say this? My sister and I are both disabled people. Now she's very cool. She's very smart. She can buy and sell me all day long, but she needs some assistance. So I'm kind of trying to hang close to home for that. And I'm also uh, getting ready for company later on this week. So that's why I didn't venture down. But John's there. So John can do all his reporting for us. That's why I'm not there. But he contacted me, very gracious, and was trying to get me down there. I explained why I couldn't go. He understood. But that's why I'm not there. So anyway. I'm done, Howie. How about you? I've had enough.
I've had enough, and it was fun.
All right.
Yeah.
The little, let's see. Can I open a box here? I'm trying to find the little box that I actually had that would allow me to end this broadcast because I figured out how to start it, but I have no idea how to end it. So I'm gonna do it right here in the Zoom software. I'm just gonna close it, and it's gonna have to just go away. So I don't know how all this stuff works.
So we'll just wave goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Take care.
Alrighty.
And I'll see. I'm going to. Well, first thing I'm gonna do. You guys can all watch this too. I'm gonna stop the recording. Okay. Boom. I stopped the recording.
There you go.
Okay. And now I'm gonna end meeting. So 4, 3, 2, 1. Goodbye.
Bye.